Hi everyone and welcome to Sports Watch. If you like the content, please press the bell icon for further notifications, like, share and subscribe to the channel. The first card of 2025 is going to be a blockbuster. It's one of the best cards that the UFC have put together in quite some time. And the main and the co-main events are as good as it can get. In the main event, Islam Makhachev defends his lightweight title against Arman Tsarukyan, who is arguably his toughest test in the division. It's a rematch. The last fight was a wrestling and grappling classic, and Islam's experience won him that fight. It was an extremely close fight, and Arman Tsarukyan showed glimpses how good of a grappler he is. Islam had to use his entire arsenal to get his hands raised. Both fighters have evolved and have got so much better since they last fought. Arman Tsarukyan has had a proper training camp, this time to prepare for Makhachev. He has been training with Khamzat Chimaev in the lead up to this fight. Arman has been calling for this fight for quite some time now and wanting to rewrite that wrong. In his previous fights with Mateus Gamrot, Charles Oliveira, he has impressed one and all with his wrestling. Like the last fight, this fight too can be expected to be a grappling clinic. Tsarukyan is one of the few fighters in the division who isn't shy to attempt a takedown on Makhachev. He did it multiple times in the first fight, and like Volkanovski showed, Makhachev can be taken down. And Arman is a bigger and stronger and better wrestler than Volk. Now, Islam has gotten better since the last time they fought as well. He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. The last time they fought, Islam was supposedly ill going into the fight, but still managed to find a way to win. This time around, both guys will be aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses. Styles make fights, and this is the perfect matchup between two elite grapplers. It's a 50-50 fight. The difference might come down to the striking. While Arman might have the bigger power, Islam is probably the better striker. The threat of the wrestling often makes the striking more effective. But unlike other opponents, Tsarukyan won't be afraid of Islam's grappling. Being a southpaw is advantageous for Islam. Expect him to go for body kicks and high kicks and then follow it up with the takedown. It's a fight that's too close to call and the perfect way to start the new year. In the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili defends his bantamweight title against Umar Nurmagomedov. This fight kind of came about out of nowhere. Merab has been calling out everyone except for Umar for his first title defense. First, he called Sean O'Malley, then he called out Peter Yan after he had won over Davison Figueiredo. Merab wanted to fight them both despite beating them quite handsomely in the earlier fights. He got criticized by many for avoiding Umar like the plague. Merab, however, doesn't duck anyone. He fights everyone at any time. His main reason for not wanting to fight Umar was simply Umar wasn't deserving enough. He has not beaten anybody. The only good win in Umar's record is that of Corey Sandhagen. So he's not battle tested yet. Merab has a point. Merab fought Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, Marlon Moraes, Jose Aldo before he got his shot for the title. But according to him, Umar is skipping the line by wanting to fight for the belt next. According to Dana White, Merab was fed up by the disrespect coming his way and stormed into the UFC office demanding a fight with Umar. That's how this fight came about. It's unlikely for a champion to get this upset and demand a challenger for his next fight, but Merab Dvalishvili is built different. He wanted the hardest stylistic matchup for his first title defense. No one can help but respect him now. There was no reason to disrespect him anyway. But on the fight, it's probably a bit too soon. Merab just fought at UFC Noke, and this fight is just a month away. Both fighters are similar in style. Merab is a cardio machine and relentless with his takedowns. He beat the likes of Cejudo, Yan, and O'Malley by just ragdolling them for 25 minutes. His fights aren't close, but Umar is equally good at wrestling like Merab. He comes from Dagestan. He's Khabib's cousin. Everyone that comes out from there wrestles like as if they had been wrestling from their mother's womb. In this fight with Corey Sandhagen, Umar displayed his remarkable grappling skills. His scrambles and transitions are insane. And coming from Dagestan, Umar is unlikely good in striking, and his pace is electric for 25 minutes. So cardio won't be an issue for him. Plus, he and Merab are almost of the same height. It's difficult to take short guys down. Both can nullify each other with their grappling. If it happens so, then the striking between the two could be the difference. It will be interesting to see who is able to out-grapple the other. Merab usually overwhelms people with his pace. It will be interesting to see what he does with Umar. But before that, in the press conference leading up to the fight, Merab got too emotional and extremely angry with Umar. It was way out of character for him. He kept calling Umar disrespectful. He was not a man. A real man doesn't talk trash online. Umar is one of the most respectful fighters in the UFC, and he stood up on his own. And he responded by saying that since Merab is the champion, everyone is bound to call him out. And he called out everyone's name except for his. So there's no disrespect on his part. But Merab was unusually at Umar. All this kind of leads up to the fight. It's a good build up, but this negative energy wouldn't be good for Merab leading into the fight because Umar will have Khabib in his corner, and they, the entire team, they are very good tacticians. It's a good co-main event. Both Russia and Georgia have very impressive wrestling histories. So when it comes to wrestling, both Merab and Umar will be willing to show off. It's a 50-50 fight, and anything might happen. This press conference was much better than the entire press conference for UFC 310, which was rather dull and boring. But the main event and the co-main event has been one of the best in recent times, and the fights would also expect to be the same. Let me know in the comment section what you feel. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.